Transfer business all concluded. I am very, very confident that we're going to have a blinding season and we are top of the Champions League. I say we are top of the Champions League. Hello and welcome back to episode 13. Unlucky for some, but not for Ajax by the looks of it. We're having an absolute blinder. £74 million in the bank balance. 37 million still available to spend. The window's closed. We've done our business. Plenty left in the wage budget as well. And we're going to try and compete on all four fronts this season. Try and win a domestic treble and see how far we can get in the Champions League. The squad sits at 29 players. We have strength in depth all over the pitch. And I feel like we can handle playing on three different fronts this season with the league, the cup, and of course the Champions League campaign. We have some brilliant players, as you've seen in the transfer special. If you haven't seen it, please go back and watch it. We have brought in some brilliant signings. But like Ajax, it never runs as smoothly. We lost the Dutch Super Cup on penalties. It was a 3-3 draw. We took the lead. Mora with the assist, Francolino with the goal, Mora assisting Buwadi for the second, and then Mora grabbing the third by herself. 3-0 up, it's all looking good. And then came the comeback from AZ in the 51st, the 68th and the 87th minute. And then it went to that dreaded penalty shootout. They scored their first one, we missed. Then we both scored. They scored again, we missed. They missed, we missed. We missed 3 penalties in total and threw away the Dutch Super Cup. But it's not all bad news. We've had a really good start in the Eredivisie. We started off against Excelsior at home. It was a scrappy 1-0 win. Baumann in the 12th minute grabbing a goal. We got a few yellow cards in this game. It wasn't plain sailing, but we got the result. FC Dordrecht, one of the favourites to possibly go down this season. We had them away from home. Again, another scrappy 1-0 win. El Canus with the goal. And that meant 6 points out of 6 available. And AZ next, trying to avenge them for our Dutch Super Cup defeat. Well, it was another high-scoring game. This time we were on the wrong end of a 4-3 defeat. They took the lead as early as the 6th minute through Troy Parrott. He then made it 2 in the 40th minute. Jerub in the 36th, I forgot about him. So that was 3-0. We then managed to pull one back to 3-1. But Parrott got his hat-trick in the 50th minute. And then we thought for 4-1, maybe a comeback was on when Esposito and Buwadi pulled it back to 4-3. It wasn't to be. It didn't happen. And AZ Alkmaar are our new jinx. Next up, FC Groningen away from home, another scrappy 1-0 win. Francolino in the 2nd minute, and then pretty much nothing else happened after that. And then we had Sparta Rotterdam at home. Well, it was a goal fest. Was it not a goal fest? Francolino got a hat-trick in this game. El Canus with 1 and Diaz with the other. They scored 3 goals. Is our defence leaky? Well, if you look at what we've conceded so far, you would probably say yes. But then we played Dynamo in the Champions League group phase and we absolutely smashed them. Although they went 1-0 up in the 2nd minute. Buwadi banged a hat-trick in, Mora with 2 and Esposito with 1. Made it a 6-1 drubbing, and that made us top of the Champions League after just 1 game ahead of Real Madrid, PSG, Man City, Inter Milan, Liverpool, all these top teams. The problem is, could we stay there? And although the Eredivisie doesn't read brilliantly, we are sat in 4th place on 12 points. If you look at the table, between 1st and 5th, there's literally 5 points difference. It's early stages. We sit in 4th on 12 points. FC20 are there at the top because they've won all 5 games and have a brilliant goal difference as well. But as I say, it's the very, very early stages. Anything can change and probably will. Well, it changed all right, but not for the better. We went to Telstar away, expecting an easy ride, and we came away with a damn good hiding. 2-0 defeat there, both goals in the second half. We played absolutely terribly. Brahim Diaz was the only player to get a 7 rating or higher, and that gave us a little bit of a kick in the backside that we needed following our brilliant Champions League win. And speaking of Champions League, Stuttgart next, and they absolutely ripped us a new one. They went 4-0 up by the 51st minute, and we managed to get a goal back, albeit an own goal. And the team are not performing at all. Baumann looks awful, 6.3. Karabashvili, very unlike him. El Canus as well, having a really bad game. Mora, Fati, Francolino. If these players aren't playing for you and playing well, you have a serious problem. We had a nice little bounce back before the international break. We played FC20. We beat them 4-1. Brilliant result that. Buadi, Mora, Francolino and Fati there. So we did look a lot better. Hamada came into the defence with Ogbus. We did a little bit of rotating of the team as well. It seemed to have worked. Mora on a 9.3, so that was a brilliant result. And then we played a couple of meaningless friendlies while the international break was on, just to get us up to speed. So into October we march on, and after a few meaningless friendlies for fitness, we played Pexval and we absolutely annihilated them 5-0. Gilberto Mora with a hat-trick, Francolino, who's doing really well with a goal, and Esposito, always reliable for goals, chipping in with the 5th one. Next, Go Ahead Eagles away, a scrappy 1-0. We've seen a few of those so far, but we got the result. And then PSG at home, it was a 2-0 defeat. And I'll be absolutely honest, we matched them toe for toe. We went up against them, we weren't frightened, and we had a real good go. We only had 34% of the possession, as you can see there, but we had 10 shots, we had 3 on target. They had 13 and 3. They got the 2 goals. They won the game, and that's the difference in quality. But I wasn't disappointed. I thought if we can play like that and match teams like that, and the only slight difference is they got the rub of the green, then I think that bodes well. However, that is 2 defeats in the Champions League out of 3, and it's not what we need or what we want to qualify. We bounced back against Feyenoord though with a 2-1 win. Fati and Tautas Sigmida giving us a 2-1 win to help us in the Eredivisie. But then we play Heracles away from home, another nailed-on win that we didn't win. Kaminski gave us the lead in the 3rd minute. Yes, we rotated the team a bit because we had Man United next. But we shouldn't lose this game, but lose it we did 2-1. And then, because we'd rested all the players against Manchester United, I expected a performance. Well, there was a performance, but it came at Old Trafford from the home team. They absolutely destroyed us. Benjamin Sesko with 4 goals, Toby Collier with 1, Mora getting a consolation goal, and our goalkeeper Andy Astralaga had an absolute nightmare getting a 5.9. He was absolutely terrible. So, the way things stand at the minute, it isn't looking good for us. Well, we needed an unbeaten run in November, and we got an unbeaten run in November. We absolutely smashed Fortuna Sittard 5-1. 5 different scorers in this game for us. And then Young Boys, the team at home that we should have been beaten, we only drew against. This means our Champions League hopes rest on an absolute knife edge. If you have a look at the league phase, we've got to scroll all the way down. We're sat on 5 games with 4 points. We need to go on a little bit of a run. The games are running out. The points need to amass up. We need, I would say, 8 points, maybe 9 points to guarantee getting into that playoff position. And at the moment, I'm not quite sure where they're going to come from. Really impressive win away from home against NAC Breda, 5-2 in the Eredivisie. We then played a meaningless friendly for fitness against the under-19s. We smashed them 6-1. And then we smashed FC Utrecht at home in the Eredivisie 6-2. Francolino with 2, Buadi with 2, Fati with 2. 3 braces from those 3 players there. And next up, we had FC Emmen in the Dutch Cup second round. As you know, we do rotate. We heavily rotated the team, playing some of the younger players. Univar came in up front. He got a goal in the 29th minute. Bruno Ogbus scored in injury time of the first half. And Uzane, the young midfielder, stroke central midfielder, he bagged one in the 81st minute to put us through to the third round of the Dutch Cup. And finally, we played NEC away from home on the 2nd of December, and we hammered them 4-0. Bouhaddi, Fatih, Bas and El Kanous with the goals. If we have a look at where we are in the beginning of December in the Eredivisie, you will see that we aren't top. We are sat in second place on 36 points, joint with AZ. They have a much better goal difference, 6 better than we do. They also have a game in hand. This has not been a position coming up to the halfway stage that we've ever been in before. Every season, bar season 1, we have won the league and we have dominated the league. We're not dominating it this season. I've spoke too soon when I said we're going to compete on 4 fronts. We're only in 3 now, and unfortunately, it's looking like the Champions League 1 may be a step too far. But the transfer window's coming up in December, beginning of January. Could we make some signings? There was money in the bank. Is there still money in the bank now? Well, the money's still there. There's 61 million, nearly 62 million in the overall balance. We have £66 million to spend. Plenty of money left in the wage budget as well. We're spending £1.9 million on wages at the moment. The only concerning thing is when you look at the projections, we are projected next season to be 128 million in debt, and then the season after 218 million in debt. So we can't go wild with the splashing out on the players, because what we need to do is we need to do something to get rid of that, and that will be buying them young, nurturing them, developing them and selling them on for a profit, which has been the Ajax way all along throughout this save. Or do we go gung-ho and splash the cash and hope that we can get really far in the Champions League and the Champions League money will take care of the debt? Well, it's a very irresponsible thing to do, and if it all goes wrong, this save will go wrong, because we will end up having to sell all of our best players, and we will be back to square one in season 1 when we first started. Well, December started well. We had NEC away from home and we demolished them 4-0. 4 different goal scorers as well. The goals are coming from all over the pitch, which is nice to see. And then we had AS Roma at home and we went for it against them, but unfortunately we couldn't break them down. 17 shots, just the 2 on target, which is really disappointing. You can see by the XG there, we should have got at least 1 goal, and we didn't. We didn't create enough chances. We had the shots, we didn't get them on target, and that was a valuable point, but 2 points dropped in my opinion. They were there for the taking, and we needed those points. It's not really looking very good for us in the Champions League at the moment. If we have a look at the league table for the Champions League, you will see now that we are sat on a lonely 29th place with 5 points. We can still make it, but we're 2 points adrift of all of these teams here, and we only have 2 games to go. I would suggest that a bare minimum of probably 4 points is needed off those 2 games. And if you have a look at the fixture schedule of who we've got in those 2 games, we have Barcelona away and Chelsea at home. It is not looking good. To think after 1 game we topped the league, we're going to be nearer the bottom of the league than the top of the league come the end of the campaign. To make things worse, we then played PSV at home and we were beaten 3-2. Karabashvili got himself sent off in the 31st minute for an absolutely reckless challenge. Straight through the back of the player, red card, off you go, already 1-0 down, and that was it for us. Mora did manage to pull one back in the 34th minute, but they took the lead at half-time in the 41st minute to make it 2-1, and then in stoppage time of the first half, Veerman got his second of the game to make it 3-1. Esposito did pull one back in the 66th minute, but we were treading water. We were just trying to close them down and attack them, and we couldn't get that vital equaliser to make it 3-3. SC Heerenveen away next. That went much smoother. 2-0 up within 17 minutes. They scored just after half-time. Diouf got a second of the game in the 48th minute, and we comfortably saw the game out. Andy Diouf doing really, really well. This guy was brought in. He's predominantly a central midfielder, but he's brought him in to play right back and right wing back, and he has done well. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but he's certainly a very, very good squad player that we've brought into the team. So at absolutely the halfway point of the season, we are sat in second place. Top of the league, AZ Alkmaar, our nemesis. They've won 12, drawn 5 and not lost a game. Plus 37 goal difference on 41 points. We are sat second. We have lost 4 games. We haven't drawn any games. We either win or we lose. Goal difference of plus 27. And we are sat 2 points behind them on 39. Feyenoord have played a game more, but they're on the same points. And 2 points behind them is PSV. So we have a 4-horse race here going into halfway point of the season. Anybody could win this. And we need to win this, because failure to win the league title this season with our poor Champions League form is definitely not going to be acceptable. And God forbid, if we finish outside of those Champions League places, it's going to look very, very bad, bearing in mind our financial projections as well. But the window is open in January. Can we go and do some business? Let's have a look and see if we do any business. Well, we're very consistent of doing the business of getting knocked out of the UEFA Champions League, because we have failed to qualify for now the 3rd season for the last 16 of the playoff round. We are absolutely abysmal in this competition. I don't know what it is. We are absolutely terrible. We have a look at the league phase. You will see that we've ended up finishing on 26th place. In 26th place on 8 points. And what has stopped us from qualifying this time again? Goal difference. Goal difference once again, -5. They're on -2. We needed to find an extra point from somewhere, or concede a couple of less goals, or score a couple of more goals. That's the fine margin of getting into this place where we might get ourselves an easy draw in the next round. Somebody we can beat home and away, a little bit more Champions League money as well, which would project us to the next level, a reputation boost, so the better players want to come and play for us. We can attract the top youth, and it's just not happening. It absolutely is just not happening, and it's so frustrating, because I think we'll lose players because of our inability to qualify for this competition, and I really don't know what it is. Is it me? Do I need to come up with something else? Do I need to change my tactics? Do I need to look at the team and maybe look at making some changes? I really, really don't know. The league now is the primary focus. If we win the Dutch Cup, so be it, but I'm rotating the team. I'm not taking it seriously at all. I've got one priority left, and that priority is strengthen as much as I can in January with what I've got, and hopefully win the league. So going into the beginning of January, we got a 1-0 win at home against Go Ahead Eagles. We should have done better, to be fair, but I'll take the 3 points. We need as many wins as we can. And then we had our nemesis AZ in the Dutch Cup 3rd round. Absolutely rotated the team. Gave Basenga a game at right back. Gave Baresi a chance there in defence alongside Hamada. Gungar came in and played again, the young kid who came through the youth academy. Univar played up front, and we won 3-1. We were on a high. We'd rested some really big players. Feyenoord 3 days later, away from home, and we lost 3-1. They took the lead. We equalised in the 25th minute, and then Shaquille Van Persie, the Dutch wonder kid, popped up with 2 goals either side of half time. Barcelona in the Champions League. Well, as you know, we got knocked out of the Champions League. We didn't actually play too badly against Barcelona. We gave them a game. We actually gave them a game, which is what I wanted to see. And then we played FC Dordrecht in the Eredivisie and smashed them 4-0 at home. Buadi with 2, Mora with 2. And we finished off our Champions League campaign with an impressive win against Chelsea, which is even more infuriating that we draw against the AS Roma, but we can beat teams like Chelsea 2-1. Baumann with the goal and Diouf in the second half with a goal after going 1-0 down as well, I may add. So brilliant from Diouf again, an 8.3. Tielemans there with an 8. He's been ever present and played quite a lot of football for us and played really, really well this season. But that leaves us now with a position in the Eredivisie of top, just the 1 point clear of AZ, just the 2 points clear of Feyenoord and 5 points clear of PSV. So it's still a 4-horse race. We can't afford to slip up. We still haven't drawn a game in the league. 15 wins, 5 defeats. The goal difference isn't bad. Second best goal difference in the league. We've scored the joint most. We have conceded, though, quite a lot. When you look at goals conceded, you will see that we are all the way down in 5th place for the amount of goals we have conceded. So the defence definitely needs tightening up. Quick look at the January transfer signings and what business we've done before we go and leave it there. And we'll start with the outs, and there was a big out on the first day of the window. Talata Samida has gone to Al Hilal. We have sold him on for a £28 million profit. Absolute pure profit on this guy. I don't think he was ever going to be more than just a squad player. And we can't afford just to have squad players worth this amount of money hanging around. So we've sold him. We also got rid of Milan Husic. We made a 525k profit on this guy as well. He was a good young player, but he was never going to make it. He was never going to be good enough for us. A lot of loans going out as well. Kakana went out. He also went to Al Tawoon. We managed to get a really healthy profit of £1.9 million from him. And then when we scroll up, you'll see loans. There's a little one there, 125k, 200k, another loan. Lucas Jetton, he went to Al Nazir. We managed to get a great £1.4 million for him. As you can see, he's steady away. He's not a bad young Dutch player, but he was never going to be good enough for us. He's went there now and he's worth 7.6 million. Gungar went out on a loan for a little bit of experience. And apart from that, I think the only other signings, Dowes went out right at the end of the window. We managed to get 1.9 million of pure profit for him as well. On the incomings, Giorgio Baresi. What a player and what a surname, Baresi. Rest in peace, Franco. It was very sad to see that Franco Baresi passed away the other day. If you're old like me, you'll be able to remember Baresi as a player, and he played in that fantastic defence with the likes of Maldini and Costa Curta and Nesta, etc. And he was one of the best defenders of all time. He was brilliant. So, Giorgio Baresi, we brought him in on a loan. Why did we loan him? Well, first of all, he cost too much money. I don't think we could probably afford it. And he didn't want to join us on a full-time deal as well. So my plan is bring him in, give him some game time, nurture him, get to the end of the season, hopefully where I've got a little bit more money in the transfer budget, and see if we can pick him up in some sort of installment-based deal. But look at that, 18-year-old. Look at those greens. Look at those oranges. They're only going to get much better. 14 caps for the under-21 so far. So as you can imagine, he is going to be top class. Ivano Perez, we brought him in as well. He's came in on a free transfer. He looks a really good Brazilian goalkeeper. Possibly somebody we can develop and sell on in the future. And then Christian Rosa. Now, We spent a little bit of money on this guy. We've spent £8 million. He looks like he can play central defence or defensive midfield. I don't play with a defensive midfielder at the moment, so we'll either have to adapt the system or he may be able to learn to play central midfield and out of possession, that DM role. He certainly looks an absolute bargain for £8 million. Hamouti, he's came in on a free, a left-sided or left-back 18-year-old Moroccan. He looks like he could be a good player in the future. Definitely going to have some sell-on value. He's already worth between 5.5 and 6.5 million. Rudy El Mahdi, we brought him in. We paid a fee for him, 1.5 million. But as you can see, he's already worth between 18 and 24 million. And we have sent him back out on loan to Patro Eisden, where he came from, just to get a little bit of game time. So that's the business that we've done so far. I will show you the business that we are going to do as well in players that we have signed on a free who are going to join in the summer. I'll go through those in the next episode though. So, out of the Champions League, but we're still in the Dutch Cup. We're top of the Eredivisie. We're going into the run-in for episode 14. If you have enjoyed this, please click the like button. Please drop us a comment because I love replying to your comments. It makes my day when I see somebody comment on the video. And most of all, hit the subscribe button. I'm currently on 84 subscribers. I'd love to get another 16 and hit the magic 100 within a few days of this video airing. My name is Andy FM Forever. Thank you so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. I'm signing out. Bye-bye.